Worcester Police directing traffic for South Coast again. Oh, so wait, is the landlord a witness for you as well? Interesting. Worcester Police Department talks with both of them in a civil process. Is the landlord a witness that you're engaging with as well?
What's that?
Is the landlord a witness that you're questioning as well?
No, I want to talk to you as well. So if you want to.
Cool. I'll stand over here.
So you had a part in this? You want to talk about?
I'm a witness and...
Okay, so you want to talk to me then about what's going on? What your part is?
Sure. I'm a witness in a... So I also... you were involved in the unlawful eviction on... that the sheriffs served at after a bunch of Pinewood, correct?
Yeah.
Exactly. Angel Santana and I met there. As a result of that interaction and many others.
I recall seeing you. I know people that know you were there. I didn't recall seeing you there. But
I wasn't there. I've seen you from body-worn camera footage.
Yep.
I pulled records after the fact.
Yep.
So my position here, I'm a witness in a civil...
Sure.
Honestly, I've kind of embraced not less of a journalist and more of an independent record keeper.
Okay, yeah.
And that is in reflection of how difficult the Worcester Police Department makes it.
Okay?
Yeah, I think I probably got that across. Most likely one of those words.
Right.
I'm fine.
I understand why you're here, and then I was talking to them why they're here. We all have a part, right?
So there's the difference. Angel Santana is the constable. The notice he sent, one, makes a threat that the city manager told him he couldn't make.
Okay.
And that the post commission has told him he cannot make.
Yep.
You're familiar with post commission. You understand all the dynamics here. That's why you guys are at these events.
Right.
So he threatens to physically remove people.
Okay.
Isn't that a threat? Like an unlawful threat since he can't follow through on that? Like if you threaten to remove someone, it's different because you're a police officer.
Yeah.
But if he says, I'm going to physically remove you, that's a threat.
We're on the same... I think it depends...
Is that a threat?
Well, hang on. It depends on the con... If he's saying I can get someone to forcibly remove...
Well, that's not what he said.
Okay.
He said he will physically remove you himself in his notice.
I've talked to him. We're all on the same page about what our duties are and what our lanes are that we can stay in. So, he's on the same page. Like I said, I talked to him.
I mean, respectfully, I don't think he's on the same page as me. I'm on the same page as he cannot threaten to lawfully remove people, and that doing so is a threat. Let me put it this way. If I send a text to you saying I'm going to remove you from your residence, I would probably be arrested.
I understand. Right. It will be considered as a threat. Right. Yeah.
But when he does it, despite being specifically told by the city manager that he can't, it's not.
Okay. All right.
So I guess what I'm trying to say is what he did is technically an arrestable offense, and all of you here are choosing to do nothing about that.
Well, a threat on itself is not arrestable. So.
Okay. So, but we can acknowledge that he made a threat of unlawful action and is now here to follow through on it.
All right. I'd have to. I think we're all on the same page, like I said, as far as we want to see. Things done here the way it should be, right? I mean, we may not agree with the result. We may not agree with the result, but it's the process. It has to go the way it has to go, right?
Well, I mean, yes and no. I think the city manager has stated pretty clearly that he can't, that the process is already not going lawfully. Like, the post commission has informed Angel Santana that I don't know if he has a gun right now, but if he does, it's actually unlawful according to the post commission. They have told him that at the listening session at the YWCA.
Everything's legal right now, I can tell you that, right?
Cool. Okay, I appreciate that. So, I guess what's not legal is if he physically moves anyone that is standing in the way of...
Which is not going to happen.
Cool. Then I guess what I have to ask is, other than ensuring that Angel Santana doesn't unlawfully enter this building, what are you here for? Who are you serving? Who are you protecting?
Well, we're here to preserve the peace, David, and then I'm not sure why you jumped up there. I need to have the landlord have access to the building.
I think he has access to the building, isn't he?
All right, that's all.
I think he just...
All right, that's all I asked. So
the landlord has access to the building?
All right, so we're on the same page. We're good. All right?
Okay.
He's just going to access the building, and I'm not the constable,
So, in other words, just so you understand, Angel Santana cannot actually serve an eviction. He's a process server today.
He's right. Like I said, we're all
cool.
know each other's lanes. We all know what we're supposed to do here today. So,
I'm glad that we all do now, but it doesn't seem like that from before. Also, just so you know, South Coast, despite the address they gave was the United Storage of America warehouse. That one is within distance. The actual address for their warehouse and the location where they would have been stealing all their furniture and whatnot too is not within the legal distance.
I know that's been challenged in the past by
well, so you can ask him. He doesn't even know where he was going to be bringing it, and you also can confirm with him that even though they have a tenancy at the address they gave, the notice that Angel Santana delivered is not lawful for a series of different reasons.
Okay, and like I talked about with South before, I would
yes,
argue
absolutely.
I would argue that the actual tenant would bring that up in housing court.
Yeah, I guess what I'm trying to say is, in your position, it is in making sure that that person can be safely removed from their house and colonized. And so what I'm trying, you sure I shouldn't have said yes, that's going to be horrible on video. Your position here is to make sure that person can be removed and this house can be colonized. My position is that if they're going to colonize, they should follow the most basic of the laws, and you don't really care about that because the judge doesn't really care about that because they all just want property to continue. You're here in support of colonization. So respectfully, we're not on the same page because you don't seem to think that Angel needs to actually do his job properly. You don't think the landlord needs to do his job properly. Your position is that this person, once they are made homeless, once they are hurt, can then seek remedy. My position is that they shouldn't have to, and that you guys should be enforcing the law, not enforcing evictions. But more importantly, you should be preventing people from getting hurt, not hurting them and then saying they have legal rights to get remedies.
Today, David, like I explained, we're here to preserve the peace today.
Well, good, thank you, I appreciate that.
And we'll do everything that we can to do that. And everybody's like I said, you have a job to do, we have a job to do. Everybody's gonna make sure that we're all, checks and balances here, right?
Well, not right, because like you don't have a body-worn camera. Your conversation with them is only going to be documented from what you write down, which is better than than when Captain Lopez had a private 10-minute conversation with him in his vehicle. This has been a repeating issue, and the problem is that this is how Worcester Police Department handles it, and that if I wasn't here, this person would be homeless right now. So Worcester Police Department is problematic, and you are supporting that. And sure, we're all on the same page about what your rules are. We just disagree about whether or not you're supposed to colonize.
Say everything's going the way it should be. If we're not able to, if the eviction isn't able to go through today, then we'll have to go some other day, right? I'm not really seeing the problem. So cool. I think we'll handle things.
Can you just make sure Angel Santana understands that he's not allowed to threaten people? In the same way I'm not allowed to threaten people?
I will. Yeah, I talked to you about your side and his side. I'll talk to everybody. Okay.
Cool. Can you make sure that you document whatever you tell him?
Of course. Yeah.
I appreciate that. That will be an improvement from last.
The only thing I ask of you and your folks here is that it's the.
They're not my folks. I'm pretty sure I know this person, but I'm not actually positive about that, and I haven't asked, and I don't give a shit. They're standing on the side of justice, opposite you.
That's good.
Also, it's worth noting that, like, South Coast shows up and Worcester Police has tactical people directing traffic again. This is just a silly waste of resources.
All right, David, I'm not really, I know you have an issue with the eviction. As far as how we run things, we'll run things our way.
Yeah, absolutely. And my opinion is that's a silly waste of resources.